Hey artists, today we're going to paint this flower. Make sure that you have a pencil, an eraser, a Sharpie, watercolor paper, watercolor paints, a glass of water, paintbrushes, and a paper towel. It's important to have the correct supplies for this style of painting, especially the watercolor paper and the Sharpie. Let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to start right in the middle, well, a little above the middle of the page here, and we're going to start with a heart. We're just going to draw a simple heart like this. We're going to make it a little rounded on the bottom so it's not coming right to a point. And then we're just going to go over that line with some bumps. They don't need to be perfect bumps, but that's the line that we're going to want to trace with our marker when we get to that part. And then we are going to start on the petals. So let's start with this top one. We're just going to make kind of an upside down U shape like this. And then let's do one down here at the bottom, another U shape. We want to try to keep them somewhat the same size, but not perfectly the same size. Flower petals aren't usually the same exact size. So like this, and then let's put this one here, and we can kind of stop like right here so that it looks like it's behind that other petal. We want some of the petals to look like they're behind other petals. So for this one too, I'm just going to stop it there. We'll put a petal over here, and it's going to stop a little behind that one. We'll put a petal here. Again, it's going to stop a little behind that one. Now for this one, I'm just going to make a petal right in here. And this one, I'm going to make a petal right in here. You can see my flower is turning out to have more petals on this one than it did on my last one, and that's fine. All right, so we're just going to stop like that. Now that we have all of our petals, we're going to draw two big eyes. Put one close to this side and one close to this side, and then a mouth, which is kind of like a banana shape with two little lines off to the side. You could make the mouth look a little different if you want. You could make it sticking out its tongue or whatever you want to do. You can add two little circles in the eyes for highlights. And then when you go in with your marker, you can add some spots. That just gives it a little bit of texture. And we're going to go down here to the stem. We're going to draw a kind of squiggly line, get a little thicker at the bottom of the stem like that, and then let's start drawing in the pot. So a rectangle shape, and then a line coming down, not perfectly straight. It's kind of going in a little bit, and the same on the other side. And then we're going to connect those with a kind of rounded line across. Next, we're going to draw in those leaves. So we're going to start about here, swoop up to a point, and then back down again. We're going to make that leaf overlap this stem a little bit. So we're going to go around and then back up. So it kind of looks like it's somewhat like hugging the stem. And then we're going to do the same for the other side. Big swoop up to a point, and then go over that stem just a little, and then back up again like that. All right, I'm done with my pencil, so I'm going to go ahead and take my Sharpie, and I'm going to go over all of those lines. Don't forget to leave the highlights white when you're going over, and you can also make the outside a little bit thicker. It just gives it a little bit more dimension. All right, then we'll start on our next step. Okay, I'm all done with my Sharpie, so I'm going to take my eraser and erase any pencil marks that I can still see. Okay, now that I'm done with my eraser, I'm going to go ahead with my paper towel and my paintbrush, and we're going to go ahead and get started on our painting. So we're going to start in the center of the flower with some yellow. I'm going to start on the outside edges, and I'm going to have those be a little bit darker than the inside. So I'm just going to go around with my darker yellow first. And then I'm going to start pulling that into the center, some water, and it'll start to get lighter for the center. Make sure you're not getting in your highlights on your eyes when you're doing this. All right, just like that. All right, and then we're going to do the stem and the leaves next. So I'm going to take my green and I'm going to start here on the stem. I'm just going to go over it, and then I'm going to go back in with maybe a little bit of a darker green and put in a little darker right in here under the flower, and then right in here by the leaves, just like that. And then we're going to go with the leaves here. I'm going to fill my leaf in with water first, just a little bit of water, and then I'm going to grab my green paint and go along this bottom edge and along this line here. We're going to want that a little bit darker. Also right here along that stem will be a little bit darker. From there you can kind of pull it up again just like you did with the center of the flower. All right, I think I'm happy with that leaf, so I'm going to go ahead with the other one. Again, I'm going to make it wet first. You can see there's still a good bit of green paint on my brush yet, so I probably just need to add this darker green on the bottom and along this edge and this line here, just for a little shading. Okay, good. All right, next we're going to do the petals. So I did my last flower orange, so I think I'm going to do this one a different color. I might do pink for this one. I'm going to do this dark pink. Okay, so I'm going to start at the darker petals, which are going to be the ones that are behind other petals. So the sides that are behind, you want those to be darker. So you can see that this petal here would be casting a shadow on this petal here. So we're just going to fill it in a little bit darker there along that line, and also right here by that middle part of the flower. Okay, and then you can just kind of blend it in, some water like that. And then I'm going to do this darker one up here now, which is also behind two petals. I'm just going to blend that out and then add a little bit more pink near the bottom here, right along that center point, just like that. Now I'm going to do this one, and you can just keep going around your flower until all of your petals are filled in. Alright, I filled in all of my petals, so I'm going to go ahead down here to the pot, and since I changed the color of my flower, I think I'm going to go ahead and change the color of the pot too. I'm going to make this pot orange. So I'm going to take my orange and I'm just going to go along this bottom line here, just like this. And then I'm going to take some water and kind of rinse off my brush a little, and then I'm going to take some water and then just blend that up. So it'll be lighter on the top and darker on the bottom, just like that. Okay, and then we can do the bottom part of the pot. So again, I'm going to take my orange, I'm going to go along this line here, and then down this side, and then down this bottom. So the lightest part will be where that white is. Now that that's filled in, I'm going to rinse off my brush again, and I'm going to start pulling that orange out, kind of blending it in. just like that. You can see I'm kind of wiping some of my paint on my paper towel too. That helps sometimes. All right, I think I'm all done with my flower here. If you enjoyed doing this art project with me, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to see when I release new videos. I would love to make art with you again soon. Most importantly, keep creating. I'll see you next time. Bye.